You're listening to the PRO Media Network, the next level in entertainment.
Go Tigers, 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 go
You're now listening to TUFF Tiger Talk with Big Q and the guys on the Pro Media Network.
What's going on, family? How you doing? Welcome to another edition of TUFF Tiger Talk on the PRO Media Network. I'm Big Q chiming with you. Special edition of TUFF Tiger Talk. The number 6 ranked LSU Tigers taking on the Mississippi State Bulldogs. It's going down in Death Valley. Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, 2:30 kickoff time, man. We're going to be enjoying it. But on this edition of TUFF Tiger Talk, we will preview the LSU-Mississippi State matchup, break down the stats, facts, and all, and we'll play Coach Ogeron. He'll give you his thoughts on the upcoming matchup against Mike Leach and his Mississippi State Bulldog team. LSU, man. We're getting it going, man. First game, defending the crown. That's right, we're defending the crown. I'm Big Q once again. We're going to bring in my co-host on the show, Uncle Mozzie. He's going to come in with you. How you doing, Uncle Mozzie?
It is I, the Swami. It is I, Uncle Swami. I am ready for the LSU football. Yes, I am. This is the Swami.
I got to say, that's a terrible, terrible accent.
What I was I Persian or what was I?
I don't know what was that. I don't know where you're from. No, I don't know where you're
from. Swami. I love LSU. I love LSU against Mississippi State. This is the Swami.
I don't know. That's terrible, though. But that's
my Zartan impersonation.
Zartan.
Whatever the big man, the one who made Tom Hanks into from a kid to an adult. Zoltar, that's his name. That's my Zoltar impersonation.
Okay, yeah. Zoltar. Okay, I got you. All right, well, you can see Uncle Mozzie feeling pretty good about the matchup going down CBS Saturday, 2:30 Central Time in Death Valley. We're getting it going, man. Defending the crown, 6th ranked, nationally ranked, 6th ranked LSU Tigers is going down. Yeah, I know, bro. That's just more disrespect. But anyway, we'll get right into it. We'll start it off with Coach O. We'll get him going in a few minutes. We'll also come back with some information. Well, actually, let's get that jumping first. LSU putting up cutouts of fans in Tiger Stadium. And, you know, a lot of people who can't be in the stands will have, people in there. But about 1,500 fan cutouts taking their seats inside of Tiger Stadium ahead of Saturday's game. The dog section is the favorite where people have pictures of their dogs sitting up there as well. So, man, it's interesting to see. But as soon as we can whip this stuff that we dealing with, man, we can get people in the stands. But like the rest of the SEC, LSU has slashed its attendance capacity in Tiger Stadium due to C-19. The restrictions mean only 25,000 fans will be able to attend games at one time. So a lot of those empty seats, a lot of people anticipating putting cutouts in the stands. Uncle Mozzie, we talked about this off show. This is not a very favorite move of yours. So you want to comment on it before we go into listen what Coach O has to say about Mississippi State?
I absolutely do. I want y'all to understand what this is, right? This is not like real people, like mannequins or something like this. Is literally cardboard cutouts. Like, I don't know if you, I'm telling my age, but if y'all ever were kids and y'all ever had to play the game Guess Who? Or I can't think of the other one. Taboo, I think it was. No, Guess Who? And there was another murder mystery game. Anyway, though the people you put the sticker of the person on like the little piece that you move. This is what it's gonna look like in the seat. So don't think that it's gonna be like a like resembling like a human or maybe a mannequin. No. This is gonna literally be a 2-dimensional cardboard like thing propped up in a seat that's supposed to emulate a person to the prospective player on the field, and I guess that's gonna make them feel better about only having like 1,000 or so people in the stands, if that. I don't know what the final breakdown or total was, but
25,000 according to what they're saying. 1,500 cutouts.
Okay,
but it's supposed to be 25,000. Those are restrictions according to the
and the cutouts. Okay, and the cutouts are gonna be like little fillers, but To me, man, that's so cheesy, bro. But shout out to LSU though for actually putting the money up to do that, because I would imagine that this process. Hey, look, I was trying to get some yard signs about 3 weeks ago, and man, yard signs like $8 a piece. If you weren't buying like 500 or 1,000 of them, they're like $8 a piece for a yard sign. So I could only imagine what a full color printout, cutout, cardboard cutout of a person is. Then you got to actually staff somebody to put them in the seats and prop them up or whatever. So that's not a cheap process, you know, to get that look that they're shooting for, to get everything right for week 1 for our boys so we can defend this crown the right way. So shout out to them for spending the money. But I still think that it's just super cheesy, and I probably would have just not had anything.
Yeah, and that's just the way a lot of people are connected to LSU, man, and that's where they want to be represented. But as soon as we get through the C19 stuff, I think we can get things back to normal, and the rest of the people that were revolved or had something to do with the C19 stuff, get them behind balls ASAP. We get back to normal. Anyway, let's keep this thing moving. Mississippi State Bulldogs, LSU Tigers. We in the building. LSU. Let's do the preview first of this one. We're going to save our breakdown after Coach Hill, but LSU's defense and its SFA championship became 3-week delay as Mike Leach era Mississippi State begins with a similar game day void. SC is finally back after the C19, and number 6 Tigers host the Bulldogs on Saturday at Death Valley. LSU had about 14 players, including Heisman Trophy winning quarterback Joe Burrow to the NFL off of last season's 15-0 team, reigning Blitnikoff Award winner Jamar Chase and standout defensive tackle Tyler Selvin opted out of the season last month to focus on next year's NFL draft. So the expectation is that the talented but young and rebuilding Tigers will be unable to approach last year's success. Their lofty preseason ranking has to be viewed in the context of the Big Ten and Pac-12 teams not being included, as well as the fact that 3 teams ahead of them are SEC rivals: Alabama, Georgia, Florida. And you know what Coach O said about it? He says, I'm kind of loving it. He said, the most I call it internal fuel. I digest it. It makes me want to work harder. That's what the Coach O said about the disrespect that the defending champion LSU Tigers are receiving. 4th-year junior Miles Brennan will make his first career start Saturday as the successor to Burrow, and now the quarterback, who's now the quarterback of the Bengals. He says, and of course, Miles says, I've always believed in Miles. And this is what Coach O said. The only thing that we don't know, and I do believe that he's going to do very well. It's how he's going to do in that fire. The only way you know that is to put him in the fire. Now, Mike Leach arrives after successful tenures at Texas Tech and most recently Washington State. He replaced Joe Moorhead, who was fired after 2 seasons. Another key newcomer is former Stanford quarterback KJ Castellano, a graduate transfer. Leach's teams have perennially featured one of the most productive passing offenses in the country. Quote, he really gives the keys to the quarterback system, Costello said of Leach, which has been something I've really been impressed with, and I know comes with a lot of responsibilities. If you know what we're doing and you make quick decisions in the system, you're going to be successful pretty fast. So it remains to be seen how quickly Leach will be successful with the Bulldogs, but it's a rival, one of the biggest headlines in the SEC during all season, not to mention Lane Kiffin is involved in as well, as he went to Ole Miss, I want to say. So the C19 restrictions include the elimination of the SEC 9 conference schedules and the expansion of the league schedule. For 10 straight SEC teams with no 9-conference, Lee said this is going to be the toughest schedule that I ever played in college football. Tiger Stadium will feature 25,000 fans in attendance, and it's limited to 1/4 capacity after the C19 precaution. So with that being said, we're going to bring in Coach Ogeron and see what Coach O, what you think about Mississippi State?
All right, great to see everybody. I want to recap this past Friday. We had preseason game number 3. It was a mock game. There was a lot of energy for the mock game. We wanted to make it game-like. We talked about substitutions, situations, halftime adjustments, a big day in the kicking game. Great job by Greg McMahon and organization. We had a maroon team that was in maroon jerseys. I want to compliment all the coaches on the staff, led by Russ Callahan and Christian Lacouture. I thought they did a tremendous job of getting these guys fired up. Jeff Martin was our energy coordinator. He did a great job of cheering those guys on. They got them all fired up. There was a cowbell on the sideline. Kind of made things like game-like. It was kind of exciting, man. I just want to compliment everybody. We walked off the field feeling very good about our situations, about what we did, and we were ready to play a football game. After that, we brought our team in the locker room. We had a pretty good time there. We had a festive time talking about camp, excited about the season. Then we surprised them. We were going to give the 18 jerseys away and the 7 jerseys away in scholarships. So these guys got it. 18 was a very prestigious number, 2 very deserving young men. We had a lot of men that were very deserving, but these men fit all the categories and graded the highest in all of the categories that we judge them in. Number 18, Chris Curry, and number 18, Damon Clark on defense. Those 2 young men are tremendous leaders, are great LSU Tigers. Both of them fought through adversity. Guys like Chris Curry, some guys would not have stuck around, would have went somewhere else, but he stuck around and got his chance, and he's going to be a great player for us. The number 7 jersey went to Jacoby Stevens, very deserving, outstanding player, outstanding leader for us. He was excited to get it, and I know he's going to wear it with a lot of pride. We also gave 3 scholarships out. I wish I could have gave 12, 15. The walk-ons on our program are outstanding, and there were about 10 of them that were very, very deserving. But these are the guys we gave it to: Josh Williams, Lloyd Cole, and Jared Small. And, the team was cheering. Everybody was happy. We said a prayer. We sang the fight song, and it was a pretty good day on Friday. Our guys had Saturday. The coaches came in on Sunday. Now it's time to get ready to play Mississippi State. Obviously, on Monday, you can always feel it's game week. There's a little fall weather out there, and 10 SEC games coming up, 1 game at a time. Fortunate that we have Mississippi State at home, 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. CBS TV, I know all our fans will be watching. And those fans that will come, I know they will give a lot of noise and make it as game-like as we possibly can. We're going to have to provide our own energy. We have to play very well. Mike Leach has done a very good job wherever he's at with the air raid. He has some tremendous offensive weapons at Mississippi State. One, Colin Hill, one of the backs that I had the most respect for, some of the most respect for in the SEC last year. A very dangerous back, and especially in the spread offense. We've been studying his offense at Washington State, and his running backs could hit the hole, could bounce it out, and make people miss. Then we're studying KJ Costello, transfer from Stanford. We hear is going to be a starting quarterback. What is he starting quarterback or not, we don't know. Wait till game time, but I think that's going to be him. So we've been studying him. A very good passer, very knowledgeable, very experienced. On defense, Zach Cornett's coming from San Diego State. Very impressive numbers. Gave up 12.7 points per game, was second in the country. He was second in a couple of categories. I think he had a top 5 defense overall. And as we know, Mississippi State always has big, agile defensive linemen, 2 outstanding linebackers, safeties that are going to hit you, corners that are going to cover. I have a lot of respect for Mississippi State. I played them a bunch. Those young men are very tough. They love football. They're going to be very well coached. So it'll be a tremendous talent for our football team. But you know what? We're ready to play. We've been looking forward to this for a long time. I want to compliment our football team for not blinking, for always believing that we were going to play, always preparing like we were going to play. Our coaching staff, always preparing like we we're going to play. Never took a day off, and we didn't think about nothing else but the safety of our football team and starting the season off right. So we're excited about this week, and I hope to see you guys on Saturday.
Coach O chiming in, man. Big thoughts from the coach, man. He seems propped up, feeling good, getting the Tigers there. A lot of people really expecting, and of course not our diehard Tiger family members out there, expecting LSU to not reclaim the crown. They put Alabama ahead of us. They put Georgia and Florida and said that LSU won't do it. Coach O responded in kind. He uses that as poster board material to light a fire under the team. So with that being said, Uncle Miles, you heard what Coach O said in his raspy way.
Yep.
What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, you know what it is. We're often disrespected. We've been disrespected as long as I can remember, and this goes into that category of disrespectful commentators and players and et cetera across the country. So this isn't anything new. This is how they've always felt about LSU, and they always trying to find somebody or can figure out a situation or a way for us to lose and for us not to be part of it. I don't know why that is or what that's about. I guess we could just chalk it up with the rest of the world feeding off into mass hysteria or what people perceptions are. So I think that once we start the season and we start to rekindle some of that same success, then people will start to see.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think a part of that is, if you notice, you have Miles Brennan takes over for Joey Burrow there. Brennan is a tall kid, strong arm. He put on a little weight right there. That was some of the stuff. But he had a long time, a while, to kind of learn the system behind Ogeron, and of course we went through changes in the offensive staff. He was there. You had Les Miles, then he went from Les Miles to Cameron, and then from Cameron to Canada, and from Canada on to, and he went through that transition, witnessed that, and now it's his team. So even though he hadn't had a lot of playing experience, he gets his opportunity now to step in there and do it. And I couldn't have helped but to notice about this LSU Tiger team, and I talked about it on the last show, was the fact that they have a really good running attack led by Curry. And these guys are going to really be good. They're going to use the three-head running back attack. They have one of the best young tight ends in all of college, in the nation, with Gilbert. I think he'll be fantastic. So you give a quarterback like Brennan, who has a strong arm, who's really smart, we're just looking for an opportunity to show himself, give him a strong running game, give him a good tight end. And of course, they have, listen, a lot of people don't too much know about anything outside. Jamar Chase decided to move on, but you got guys that should step up. We're talking about guys like Racey McMath and especially Terrace Marshall Jr. He got to step up. He had 40-plus catches last year, 9 touchdowns as the third wide receiver for the LSU offense last year. Terrace Marshall Jr. is set up to be the next big wide receiver out of here. He was a special talent people are looking at. So you have, and plus those guys are big targets. So you have Gilbert, you have Terrace Marshall, wide receiver, and Racey McMath, and a few of these other guys that are going to look to prove themselves in a strong running game. The defense now led by Bo Pelini and his aggressive style. He's going to bring that ferocity there. And I'm just really, we know our staple in LSU is running game and playing tough ass defense. And I expect more of the same this year, and our special teams are on par as well. So let's get into the preview of the game. You know what Mike Leach is bringing? Mike Leach usually has one of the top offensive units in the country. What do the LSU Tigers, Uncle Mozzie, what do the LSU Tigers have to do to slow down Mike Leach's offense and claim victory in Death Valley on Saturday? Uncle Mozzie, are you with us? Okay, hold on. I think something might have went wrong with Uncle Mozzie. He might have dropped out here. But let's move into it, fam. Let's go deep into it, because what I'm thinking about when we dealing with LSU, man, I mean, it's the fact that that's a part of the game until he gets his stuff back up here. I think his system might have crashed on him. But we have to look at it, man. We have to look at it. We're looking at the fact that Miles Brennan should be fine. He'll be more than fine. We got Chris Curry there who'll be running the ball. You got Tyron Davis-Price behind him. You got John Emery Jr. there. You got those guys doing terrific things that should lead that running attack. I'm telling you. And as long as we have that, I think we have a major portion of the offense that can really kind of channel away. We don't need Miles Brennan to do anything more than just be himself in there. We don't need him to be Joey Burrow. We lean on a running attack, the three-head monster running attack. We lean on those guys. You got the tight end, like I talked about, Gilbert. Eric Gilbert's going to be fantastic, man. They rant and raving about this kid. The offensive line for the Tigers are strong this year as well. Ed Ingram's there. I mean, it's just terrific, man, what these guys were able to do and how Coach Ogeron was able to move pieces around and fit them again. And that's what I'm talking about. When you get down to the wide receivers, man, you're talking about Terrace Marshall Jr. He's the key member in that whole deal. Even though we know McMath is a senior, he has to, and we've seen some little things about Racey McMath, but they're counting on Terrace Marshall Jr. and Racey McMath. Both of those guys are 6'3" wide receivers, big physical wide receivers to step their game up. And of course, there are other young, talented wide receivers that's there, like Trey Palmer. I hear a lot of talk about him. Coy Moore. What's the other kid's name? what's his name? Jontre Kirkland. That's another dude that I'm hearing a lot of stuff about. Jontre Kirkland from Lutcher. That's the kid from Lutcher. A lot of people like a lot too. So, and then of course Keyshawn Butte, who's another dude from New Iberia. He's another dude that they're speaking a lot about too. Anyway, a lot of these young wide receivers gonna have to step up, and I think they will. We have a lot of talent there, man, and they're just right below the line. They'll show what they can do against this team. Now, on the defensive side, what I really like, of course, we can't count, Tyler Selvin's not going to be there, but other people have to step up. They got to step up and do what they need to do. Glenn Logan's going to have to step up there and show what he can do. And of course, Neil Farrell Jr., we covered him coming back to the team to help out well, because he'll get a severe opportunity. With Selvin out, you'll see more Farrell Jr. in there to do what he do. And of course, the linebacking core, which is really awesome. As usual, we need these guys to step up and play with Damone Clark and Jabril Cox, who will be special. It's just, I'm really excited, man, to see finally we get some LSU football back again in the secondary, man. What could you say? The most exciting aspect of the team from my vantage point is the cornerback position. You got Derek Stingley Jr. returning for his sophomore season. And then you got freshman Eli Ricks, who was a really big move, the kid from California, who will be on the opposite side. So Stingley and Ricks, what does that look like? You know what I'm saying? What the hell does that look like? I'm really excited about that, not to mention Jacoby Stevens in the back doing his thing, Kerry Vincent Jr. in the building as well. So, like I said, man, I love with LSU defense. It's Coach Bo Pelini back in the fold operating the defense. Not to mention, we're going to be fine, man, I think, moving forward. But the greatest thing they could ever do against LSU is to look at us and say, you know what? The Tigers, they're not a contender no more. We got Alabama. We got Florida. We got all these other nonsensical teams. Listen, it's not a one-hitter quitter for the Tiger Nation, baby. The bottom line is the Tigers, just like with last year, Tim Tebow and all these suckers was disrespecting the Tiger Nation last year, looking over us until we made them understand that we was a force to be dealt with. We made them understand that we was forced. They was picking against us all up into the champion. Oh, the LSU's gonna do this. They're not gonna win. Oh, they're gonna lose to Oklahoma. They had a nice one against Oklahoma, but they're gonna lose to Clemson. Remember all that? So they just some jerks out there, haters out there that don't understand what they're dealing with. But we gonna make them understand. Come 2:30 Central Time, Death Valley, baby. It's going down in the major capacity. So let me check to see if Uncle Mozzie returned. Mozzie, you good? Did you get everything up and running? Are you back? Are you back good? Okay, I guess not. He's still off. All right, so let's move into it, family. Let's discuss, like we heard what Coach O said, coming up against LSU. He spoke about Mike, and of course we know about Mike Leach's transition. And let's get this straight: Mississippi State, we can't overlook them. This ain't the garbage time Mississippi State joke of a squad they were last year, where they just couldn't put it together on the field. This team, Leach has come along. He's brought a quarterback with him, and he knew that he had to build this team up. This kid that they got from Stanford, KJ Costello, this guy is interesting, and I've heard some of their media outlets compare his could be a similar transition like what they talking about with Joey Burrow to LSU that Costello could have with Mississippi State. I doubt it because I've seen Costello. I watched some of his film, and I'm not really that impressed with him, although he's pretty responsible with the ball, I'll tell you that. And then he got a little zip on his throw as well. So I'm not really too really like that comparison that their press said about Costello, but I understand what they were trying to do, trying to beef up interest in Mississippi State. Mississippi State. All right, let me tell you something. Mississippi State, man, listen, y'all in trouble, man. Y'all coming to Death Valley, man, it's going down, man. So Leach, I'm anticipating in this matchup that LSU defense get after Costello. I think our offense used the ground and pound. That's the key to the game. And like Coach O loves to run the ball. And of course, Coach O loves to run the ball and operate. And I think LSU has everything it takes. We don't have to put a lot of pressure on Miles. The bottom line is what we need to understand from an LSU standpoint, family, is that Miles Brennan does not have to be Joey Burrow. And let's quantify it like this as well. LSU last year, right? I call that the 100-year offense. That's what I call. I was calling it that all last year. That's the 100-year offense. That means you probably won't see an offense like that for, if you're fortunate, for another 100 years. That's the bottom line. But that's what I'm saying. So with that being said, Miles Brennan does not have to be Joe Burrow. Miles Brennan simply just has to be himself and play within the confines of the offense. And I can understand them. And Coach already said they're going to use a 3-headed running back system, and all those guys will ground and pound. All of them are angry runners. One cut north south runners. Emory Jr. is really special. He's probably when the time comes, you'll see he probably be the best of the of those backs. Is he anticipated to be a guy that can eventually realize his potential and be on some Leonard Fournette type stuff? That's what they were saying about him, about Emory Jr. So time will tell about that, if he can jump ahead of Curry in the mixture and go. But look, bottom line is Coach O said 3-head running back attack. Love it. Eric Gilbert as your tight end, true freshman. He's going to be one of the best tight ends in the country. Love it. So you got Brennan with his tight ends, with his running game, and big wide receivers. McMath and Terrace Marshall. Damn it. Y'all know what I'm talking. Terrace Marshall. Those guys are 6'3" even. Those guys are 6'3". They're big, large wide receivers that throw the ball. And of course, guys like Kirkland and the rest of them are speedsters as well with good hands. So, and then the offensive line is pretty damn good too. So, like I said, LSU underdog. They've been doing this to us. Expect to win against Mississippi State. Expect Bo Pelini's defense up front to get after Mike Leach's Stanford transfer quarterback. Expect their running game to be shut down, and expect LSU to work the clock, use the running attack, throw to the tight ends, and access a play action down the field when they need to define Marshall and McMath and other wide receivers, even Eric Gilbert and guys out the backfield. So, man, listen, this is going to be an excellent game. I'm really glad that we had an opportunity to get SEC play back in the building, man, and I love what's going on with it. So, I don't know what happened on Kamazi. He dropped out, and looked like we probably going to have to move on with him without it. So let me go to the chat and access some of the family members in the chat and see how they're doing before we get an opportunity to move on out of here, because it's getting close. Kevin, good to see you, Kevin. Go Tigers to Kevin in the building. He said that everybody is against LSU repeating this year. Justin Freer, what up, Justin? Go Tigers to you. He says LSU going to shut down a lot of people. He says a lot of people come tomorrow. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate the Revolt Control. Go Tigers is in the building as well. So Revolt Control as well is in the building representing. Good to see your family. Lee Wood says, he says 18. He says, who that on? He says 1,080 offensive plays last year. LSU only turned over the ball 12 times. Unbelievable. They had 25 takeaways. Hope it's more under Pelini. I hope so too, Lee. Good comment there. And the rest of the family chiming in. Justice says, do you think we're going to go back to more of a running the ball offense? No doubt about it. Even though Miles Brennan has a good arm. He has an arm. He has a live arm. He could throw that ball down the field. But Coach already said he's going to use a 3-back rush attack. Gilbert would take the pressure off of Brennan as well. And I already talked about Terrace Marshall Jr. and Racey McMath, those being big wide receivers that can win and in jump ball scenarios. They also have good speed. They also have guys like Kirkland and all the rest of these young wide receivers that have good hands that can stretch the field as well. But Coach O will definitely employ more to run. Thank you for the question, Justin. Appreciate you. Lee says, hope our run defense is very good. Mississippi State has one of the top backs in the country. That's right. I'm really feeling good about LSU, despite the fact we did leave. We lost massive defensive tackle Tyler Selvin, but we expect the guys like Glenn Logan and the rest of those guys to step up and do what they need to do. Kerry Vincent, Justin said Kerry Vincent opted out. Did he? Okay, I'm looking at my roster right here, and they didn't say that. All right, thank you. It's Cordell Flott in the middle. Okay, yeah. Okay, I got you. Thank you, Justin, for that, man. Appreciate that. All right. Yeah, a lot of news on the opting out guys, man. I was keeping up with it. Some guys opted out. Some guys decided to opt back in. It was real confusing, man. I had a sheet. I had all that marked down in. But thank you for that, Justin. I'm going to update my sheet. Kevin says, I want to see the tight end. It's all about, he says, I want to see what this tight end is all about. They raving about at LSU. Eric Gilbert is the real deal. You'll see. All right. Revolt says, I'm looking to see what the run game looks like. It's gonna, man. We're gonna see Mississippi stink. That's right, Mississippi stink, and they're gonna stink real bad. and they're gonna have to pull him out of Death Valley, man. Lee says, he says, who is our top running back? Curry. Curry is our top running back, but a lot of people estimate toward the back end or toward the getting closer toward Emery will emerge as the top back in that scenario with the rest of the backs. But Mozzie, I see you got your computer working again. Now that you're back, we done went through the preview of the Mississippi State LSU game. Tell me the keys of victory for LSU, what they need to do to come out with a victory over Mississippi State.
Keys of victory to stopping the stank is, that's what we're gonna call it from now on. They'll forever be referenced as the stank. All right, so keys to stopping the stank is Stank State is defense, man. We gotta play defense and keep the game a low scoring affair. Why? Because although I think that Brennan is more than capable, I don't think Orgeron would have him out there if he wasn't. By being his first outing under these mitigating circumstances on a shortened schedule, we really just can't afford any mistakes. So we better look to play defense first, offense second. I'm looking for LSU's defense to come out and keep this game from the Mississippi Stank side of it anyway at 14 points or under. That will allow Brennan to kind of get in a rhythm or a groove by first establishing the running game, and through the running game opening up the passing lanes in the passing game. And if our defense is playing well enough where Mississippi State can't seem to get a grip or find anything, and our run game is established, now Brennan can kind of kick back and pick his targets and find that. I don't know if you remember 2 years ago that 2 or 3 game season loss that Joe Burrow had. That is what he used to catapult himself into that Texas game that springboarded his entire career all the way to the national championship last year. Unfortunately, Brennan won't have an entire season to work out those kinks, but if LSU's defense can come out, hold opponents, especially the Stank, to under 14, and I get our run game established, I think that Brennan will be able to throw the ball moderately without running the risk or having to worry of running the risk of a turnover or an incomplete pass or just missing targets or whatever. It won't matter because the defense is holding Mississippi State to under 14 and our run game is established, meaning through all of our running backs, we need to have a combined yardage total on the ground of about 175 or better to adequately win this game. And I think that we can do it with the monsters that we have. And if we allow ourselves that kind of run game, then it'll make it really easy for the pass game. And Brennan will be lights out because he won't have the fear on him of making a mistake and not being able to complete the task.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. But I still feel in the way I feel, man. I think LSU, this would be good just to see it back, man, to get some sense of normalcy, to see them on the field despite everything that we done went through this year. To get college football back in the ranks is cool. And just to mention a couple of opt-outs we talked about. LSU defensive tackle Tyler Sheldon, he opted out, although they were waiting to see whether he was going to opt back in, but he decided to stay out along with Jamar Chase. And, of course, like Justin mentioned, Kerry Vincent Jr. Opted out as well. This is what we currently have here. So it'll be interesting, man, to see exactly how it all shape up later on tomorrow. But listen, we'll be back tomorrow afternoon. We'll do a post-game show breaking it down about LSU. We'll even open up the lines for family members to chime in and talk about LSU and see what goes on as well. So Justin says, I'm excited to see what Keyshawn Booth starting at wide receiver. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. Coach O was really talking big about this kid. I really want to see what he can do, man. I really want to see what he can do. So that'll do it for Tough Tiger Talk for this edition, man. The preview. Now you got to roar. Roar. You got to roar. That's me. That's how Auburn sound. We ain't.
That's how Auburn sound.
That's how Auburn sound. We not the tough. That's a Meek Tiger Talk show. That's Auburn show. Well, I thank all y'all for tuning in for Tough Tiger Talk, man. Big ups to y'all, and we'll see y'all later after LSU beat the hell out of the Mississippi Stank Bulldogs. So we'll see you tomorrow afternoon. So from me and Mozzie, go Tigers.
HomeBistro.com. Freshly prepared, home delivered restaurant quality gourmet meals delivered straight to your home. Choose from over 50 plus gourmet meal options cooked by world-class chefs and delivered frozen, ready to eat within minutes and no commit. Welcome to the one-shop gourmet food delivery, specialized affordable options to eat right and feel great. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Every ingredient is handpicked to the highest standard. And why you should buy from HomeBistro.com? Restaurant quality made with natural ingredients delivered right to your door. Overnight shopping is available. Diabetic, paleo, heart health, and vegetarian options to eat doing business since 1999. Courteous, knowledgeable, and professional support. Complete PCI compliant SSL security ordering and great meals. Choose from some of my favorite dishes: the Mediterranean chicken with orange honey sauce, charbroiled chicken romesco, or the grilled chicken breast with sweet and spicy vegetables. No matter what you choose, you can't lose with HomeBistro.com. Eat great, feel good, and save some money with HomeBistro.com. Hit the link in the description section below for more information.
I'm a Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is the Sports Coma with Big Q. The guy's intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in Orleans.